I wanted to show you around the STL ToneHub plugin and the sounds that are available in my pack and just how the plugin works in general. So I've got a session open. I've got two DI tracks that are going to ToneHub, and there's no plugins after it. This is, what you're hearing is the sound of the plugin. So let's have a listen. Sounds awesome. This is the Bogner Uberschall, which is one of my favorite amps for that kind of heavy tone. So there are a bunch of different modules here, and let's kind of go through them and I'll show you what's going on and how we've got the sound. So it starts with the Stomp module. There's a compressor and there's 3 overdrives. All these overdrives sound different and the amp will react differently depending on which one you have on. We've got the red on at the moment. I love the green as well. It kind of reminds me of that Tube Screamer sound, which I use quite a lot going in front of the amp. After that, we have the actual amp itself. The cool thing about these controls is they react really similar to how my actual amp would react. So for instance, on the Bogner, when you push the mid-range, the actual amp's got this sound to it. It kind of has a lot more attack that comes through, and I feel when I push this, I get that same kind of thing happening. Let's take a listen. There's a lot more focus as soon as you kind of start adding some more of that mid-range. After that is the cabinet section, and this is my favorite part of this plugin. When I record guitar amps, I have my mics on a motorized mic stand, which allows me to sweep around and find the perfect spot for the guitar tone I want. The great thing about this is just with the plugin, I can hit play on the track and I can just sweep around and listen in context with the rest of the song and work out exactly like how bright I want the guitars to be and the exact spot where they actually sit with everything else. Let's have a look at this. Because sometimes when you're dialing in a guitar sound, it's not just how the guitar sounds on its own, it's how it sounds to the track. And when I was playing the track back, I needed a little bit more brightness to have the guitars cut through. So I'm easily able to move this mic position while the track's playing, and that's a huge time saver for me. Cool thing about this as well is you can also alter the angle. If you watch this microphone here, you can see that I can actually alter this angle up to 45 degrees. To get even more sounds out of this. After that, we have an EQ section. This is a really powerful EQ. I find with all the sounds that I've created in this preset pack, you don't really need much EQ. I kind of designed them to be quite mix ready, but I think sometimes just adding a tiny little push here and there can help just sit it in a little bit better. I'll turn the EQ off and then I'll turn it on while the track's playing, and I've just added a little extra 1K into the guitar sound just to make it a little clearer on the riff. Let's check it out. I think it's a subtle difference, but I think that it makes it for me. I think just that little push at 1K just makes the guitars push forward a little bit more, and they're clearer. I can hear the notes much better. So it's a great tool just to kind of, you can do everything in this plugin essentially. You don't need to then put an EQ after this or anything. You can do everything in one window. Let's take a look at some of the other sounds that are in this pack. The Messagial Rec is one that I really love for heavy music, and this one sounds awesome. Let's have a look. Sounds great. I love that. I love that amp. Got an Ironheart we can check out. What's amazing about this plugin is just being able to click around and all of a sudden you've got a different tone and you can easily find something that's going to sit with the track. I'll flick through some sounds as this is playing. The one great thing about having all these sounds just in a window in front of you is you might find there's an amp that you never thought would be good for the track that actually is. When I was just playing around with this earlier, I just loaded up the JCM 800 and it's got a really cool twang on the riff, and something like that could also be really cool. So listen to that. So yeah, I hope you enjoy all the sounds in here. The one thing I love about this plugin is just how I'm a click away from a completely different amp. It's just made things so much easier. I can do everything in one window. I can alter the sound using the cabinet and find the sweet spot. I can fine tune the guitar sound with the equalizer. It's just, everything is just so much easier, and I can get an amazing sound in seconds.